I think we've had our moments. I don't think we've been consistent. I think we've played a good group of teams, so I don't think it's, I wish we would have played a little bit better in that stretch in the third and fourth quarters against Indiana, but played awfully well the 2 games before that. So, I think just looking at it from a real objective standpoint, I'd say that there are things we can improve on and things that we'd like to bottle up and keep doing.
What would you like to improve on?
I just think we need to be better executing, because right now it's leading to some struggles on offense, but it's also leading to some issues in transition defensively. When we get our half-court defense set, we've been pretty good, and that should be a major focus of ours, and I think there are ways to improve that. And so we've talked about that today, and we'll see how we play tonight. We're going to find out over the next few games if we're improving, because the schedule is really difficult right now. So we're just gonna, and I think that's where we need it to be to give us a better idea of where we stand in the big picture.
Are you going to the same starting 5 from Wednesday night?
No, I'm gonna start Marcus. Marcus is feeling much better. Marcus feels ready, so he'll start in Evan's place. But Avery's out.
What's the update with Avery?
He tried to go through. He really considering playing. Did not look 100% to me when he went through. And just from a long-term perspective, it's a strain. It's a muscle strain. We just hesitate that it would get worse if he played, if he's not fully ready.
David Beasley played that the last couple of games. He had that big stretch. He said after the game the other day that he feels like his wind is getting back there a little bit more. Did you notice that was a problem at all in preseason, and have you sensed that he's starting to be able to...
I didn't notice it, a ton, but nobody was playing huge minutes in the preseason, and I thought that he was able to get through practices pretty well. So, but only he knows that, and those guys, are in the middle of the game. There's a lot asked of them when they play consecutive minutes like he did, especially in the Milwaukee game where he went 12 straight. And that's a good thing, because I agree with you. I thought he played well the last 2 games.
What do you think's accounted for him? Is it just being more comfortable? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I think he plays better with another skilled big in there with him. But I think at the same time, it's probably just a comfort level of being around for a few more days.
What do you think is causing the turnover issue so far?
Well, I don't know if it's as much. First of all, it's turnovers, but it's also I think sometimes we're all trying to hit home runs. I mean, I just think we've got the ball a second too long. Sometimes we need to get to the point where we're moving it better. Hopefully, as we get a better feel for each other as far as the new guys, then we'll get better at it. But people are putting a lot of emphasis on the paint, as they should, the way we're shooting, and we're going to have to make some shots to get them out of there. And then once that happens, you'll alleviate some of your problems, including turnovers, just because there's a lot of hands in there right now. And so you take a second, third dribble, and you're in there, and you're not at the rim. Boy, there's a lot of people swiping at the ball.
That backcourt combo of Isaiah and Marcus, what do you think the strength of that duo together is?
They both can handle the ball. They both can play off pick and roll. They're unique to each other offensively in some ways too, but they've played well when they've played together, so we'll see.
What's your impression of the Sox team right now? I mean, obviously, Carroll makes them a little bit different, but what do you think?
Bazemore's playing great though, and I love, obviously Cephalosha didn't play at the end of the season last year, but we played against him a couple of times. I loved his addition last year because he gives him a guy off the bench that can make shots, but also really defend any position on the perimeter. And then Splitter's a great addition just because of his savvy and understanding and the way that he sprays the ball around. I mean, this team moves it. They don't waste dribbles. They don't waste possessions. They find the right guy. And they're a headache to play against because you better be on your toes for 48 minutes or they'll expose you when you're not. I mean, that Minnesota game when they were down 81-47, in 11 minutes they were at 89. I mean, it was like 52 points in 11 minutes. That was a joke how quickly that thing evaporated. So it's a heck of a team. They've done a really nice job with it.
Jared had some strong
afterwards about the team's just rebounding issues after Wednesday night's game. How much
What were they?
Just that you guys weren't doing it very like. He kind of blamed the loss on the rebounding on Wednesday night. It's kind of been you guys haven't done a great job in that department throughout the early season.
No, we're
more
not doing
emphasized,
very
or-
well on the glass. That's for sure. I mean, it's something that we've got to do a better job at. I'd say if you look at our defensive numbers right now, the two areas are transition and defensive rebounding, and if we can shore those things up. And hey, we're going to be small against some teams, and even our bigs are small against some teams. Like when you look at a San Antonio out there, and you look at their length and their just sheer size. But but if you can just manage the boards in those games, you know, if you can just manage them, then that's helpful.
Is this a team a true test for defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best offensive teams in the NBA for sure. I mean, it's a fun team to watch play again, and it goes back to the skill. I mean, they've had 6 guys that have made 10 threes or more. You know, you look across their roster, and some of these guys have continued to develop as three-point shooters over time. You know, Horford's a double-digit three-point shooter. I think Millsap has 13 of them. Bazemore has 16 of them already. I mean, these guys are all continuing to develop and continuing to grow and get better, and it puts a lot of pressure on your defense when you're talking about all those shots going in. Schroeder's made 13, and I haven't even mentioned Korver Teague yet.
Are you surprised, disappointed by your team's three-point shooting?
I don't think I'm ready to come to a conclusion about it. You know, we're 7 games in. I don't think you can make a conclusion about it until you're further down the line. I mean, some of that stuff evens out over time. I mean, it really kind of depends on the night you ask, right? So, I mean, last Friday night we were thrilled about the way we were shooting the ball, and on Wednesday we were down in the dumps about it. But I don't think we can ride that emotional roller coaster. We just have to stay in the moment. You know, think that things will even themselves out over time, and they will. I mean, we've got most of our guys are better shooters than they've made so far, and that'll even itself out.
Do you like the looks they're getting?
Most of them, yeah. I actually went back and watched the Indiana game, obviously, a couple times again, and felt pretty good about them. We had a couple bad possessions late, but even a couple of possessions late, I felt a little bit better when I was watching it on film than I did in person.
What do you see in that Landon's development of trying to make all their guys effective three-point shooters that you want to see reflected in your own career development?
Well, I don't think it's anything unique to a lot of places around the league. I think first and foremost, shooters are shooters, right? So there's guys like Korver, and he's always going to be the elite of the elite. And you know, a lot of those other guys are really skilled basketball players. Some of them were always been shooters. I mean, Horford's been one of the best mid-range shooters in the league for years now. They've just extended that range a little bit, and it's important to do that to make yourself a more versatile player. And hats off to them for doing that. And you know, I think a lot of our young guys are working to become that too. And you know, it's why, you know, we need our bigs that can to be able to space the floor and be able to knock in shots, because it gives you a lot of different ways that you can attack offensively, and it opens up things for everybody else. Thanks.